Job openings have dropped by over 30% since ChatGPT launched. So if you're still relying on the old apply online and hope strategy, 2026 is going to be a tough year. But here's the part no one's talking about. While the job market is tightening, demand for independent talent is exploding, from coaching and consulting to fractional leadership roles. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 things every job seeker needs to know heading into 2026. So why a multi-pillar job search is the only way people are landing interviews right now. Why there has never been a better time to turn your existing expertise into a coaching or consulting business, and how fractional work is becoming one of the fastest growing career paths, and why it could be the bridge between your next role and full-time freedom. So let's start with the big picture. Since ChatGPT launched, job openings have dropped by over 30% in the US, and here in the UK, entry-level roles are down by almost the same amount. That's not a small dip, it's astronomical. And while this article on fortune.com highlights how companies are still hiring, it also confirms how they are now hiring differently, which is kind of emphasized by the short note on the bottom disclosing that they themselves use generative AI to produce the first draft and then got an editor to verify things for accuracy. And this goes hand in hand with what I see daily. Employers are hiring differently. They're more selective, they're slower, and they're posting fewer roles. And this is where the mistakes happen. Most people still approach the job search like it's 2019. One resume, the occasional LinkedIn update, and casually throwing out applications thinking they can just sit there and wait. But that approach simply doesn't work anymore. Not in a market with fewer openings and more competition. So the new non-negotiable for all of you is a multi-pillar job search. Something I've been saying for a long time, because a good resume alone is worthless. A strong LinkedIn alone is worthless. There's no one thing that will guarantee job search success. It's a combination of 100 small things done well in parallel. So when I talk about having a multi-pillar job search, I don't mean sending more applications or trying networking for a week and sharing a few LinkedIn posts the next. I mean building a system, a strategic process where every part of your job search reinforces the other. So you need to know the exact roles you want, the sector you're targeting, and how to position yourself as the solution to that employer's biggest problem. You need a resume and LinkedIn profile that reflects so clearly that hiring managers immediately understand what you do and how you can help in a matter of seconds. And yeah, if you think that's a bit one-sided, please don't hate me, because here's more bad news. With the increase of AI tools for recruiters and employers, you now need to master direct outreach so that you can bypass the ATS and online application stage altogether. Yes, this is tough, but this will hands down be one of the most important pillars in 2026. And those who don't are probably going to need to knuckle down for a long search, because those who master this will skip the queue, uncover hidden roles, and get immediate responses from decision makers. But that's not all. With the way the market is going, you now need to build a personal brand like you're a content creator, and couple that direct outreach we spoke about a second ago with a longer term networking strategy that attracts inbound opportunities. Yes, it's a lot. And all of this is before we even speak about leveling up your interview and negotiation skills. So yeah, be warned, the game has changed. There's simply less jobs than available candidates, so you now need to be somewhat of a unicorn just to compete. So to recap, that means you need an incredible resume, a fully optimized LinkedIn profile, you need to be a top-level marketer, run a cold outreach campaign, and then communicate like you're a keynote speaker to sell yourself in interviews. It's crazy, I know, but that's the reality of today's job market, and it's not showing any signs of getting easier. But here's the twist that you may have overlooked amidst all this madness. While companies are posting fewer full-time roles, they're paying more than ever for independent expertise, coaches, consultants, industry specialists, strategists, advisors. People are taking the skills they already have, the ones they've used for years, and turning them into online coaching and consulting businesses. You don't need a website, you don't need branding, you don't even need a big audience. You need a problem you can solve, a process you can repeat, and a small group of people who need that outcome. That's it. 2026 is going to be the biggest year for independent experts we've seen in decades, because in a slow job market, companies still need help. They're just less willing to commit full-time salaries. Now, I also came across this when listening to Kevin O'Leary on the Diary of a CEO. Now, in this interview, he explained,
can you execute? And the way I hire people, and that's why I have such a diverse staff in my operating company, I don't hire you. I say, look, you sound good and you look great on paper, But that doesn't mean anything if you can't work within the team. So I know you want a job and you want benefits and all that stuff, but I'm not going to do that. If you want to be part of my universe, you're going to work for 4 to 6 months as a contractor at a much higher salary, because you're not going to get any stock options. You're not going to get any benefits. But I just want to see what it's like for you to work with all of the people that we deal with every day, all the lawyers, all the bankers, all of the, the CEOs that we have investments in, and your coworkers, because I don't do 9 to 5 anymore. I do project-based work. I don't care where you live. We have people working in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, England. I mean, everywhere. And we meet, we try and find an hour every week where we can see each other, but we're just constantly communicating using modern day tools today. But can you actually be given a mandate and execute on it? That's it. I don't care when you do it. If you have to get the financials out, let's say you're running in finance, you got to get them out the 15th for taxes. I don't care when you do it. But if you miss the 15th, I care. So I need to find out if those people can fit into that kind of an environment. Some of them make it, some of them don't. Sometimes we know right away after 90 days, okay, let's hire them, bring them in the team, and let's give them the whole package. And sometimes after a month, we say, no, it's not going to work. Here's that's it. I think more companies should do that.
Now, since then, I've noticed more and more of this playing out. And this brings me to the final point. Fractional work is exploding. Fractional marketing directors, fractional HR partners, fractional finance leads, fractional everything. Instead of paying one full-time salary, companies are splitting senior roles into part-time flexible positions. And the best part for you, fractional work does 3 things beautifully. It keeps your experience fresh, it gives you an income while job searching, and it can turn into a consulting or coaching business later on. It's the middle ground between employment and entrepreneurship, and it's one of the safest, smartest ways to transition into more control and flexibility. So yes, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the job market is only getting harder. But if you play this right, 2026 could be the year where you land a role faster, increase your income, or build something completely your own. Now, if you want a step-by-step plan to run a multi-pillar job search and actually get interviews again, that's exactly what we do inside my Career Growth Accelerator program. And if you're watching this thinking, actually, I want to build something of my own, I'm building something very exciting for people who want to turn their expertise into coaching, consulting, or fractional work. So if you want access to that, jump over to my LinkedIn profile and drop me a DM with the word consistent, and I'll share more details. In my opinion, 2026 isn't the year to play safe, it's the year to play smart. Adapt faster, build your value, and if you do that, you'll be ahead of 99% of job seekers still waiting for things to go back to normal. So yeah, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.